Nick Galabella Sports. Mark, just from a guttiness factor, your thoughts on the way that your team competed and responded, particularly in that second half?
Yeah, I thought a lot of positives. I thought the way we started the game was very positive. It's tough back-to-back with tough travel, short turnaround, finished late last night, lost an hour of sleep, played at 6 o'clock. I thought just our readiness compared to earlier in the week in Phoenix, we brought the fight to the game and set a good tone early. We had a little bit of identity drift in the second quarter, and then to your point, in the second half, our defense and offense was really sharp on a night where we didn't shoot it particularly well.
What have you noticed most from Jay Will's improvement as a pick-and-roll player, really on both ends of the floor, but tonight defensively he just seemed to be very disruptive on that end?
Yeah, I mean, the pick-and-roll game is so nuanced. It shows up every night, but every pick-and-roll is different in a weird way, depending on who you're playing with, how you're being guarded, who you're playing against. And so it just takes time to, gather those experiences, and he's, on that track on both ends of the floor. He's learning how to get his physicality in the game, which I think angles that he's taking are allowing him to do that. And he's shown continuous improvement there. So, it's obviously really helping us.
And then just some of the force at the rim that we've seen really over the last couple nights, the hard fouls he's taking. How encouraged are you by some of the signs he's showing out there?
Yeah, he's on the gas. He played with great force tonight, even coming up the floor a couple times, hard breaks, just learning. We're still building, and he's such a young player, and he missed a lot of time. So he's really in the early stages of his development, but he's learning the type of thrust you have to play with to be effective in an NBA game, and he's working hard at that. I give him a lot of credit.
There seemed to be a lot of balanced impact tonight. Everybody scored, 5 guys in double figures, and there wasn't just one-sided performances. Dario even had 10 and 7, who's 17 and 8. Is this kind of a good example of a compete together game, given the obstacles that you mentioned coming into the night?
Yeah, and no one had their A game. I don't think anybody played their best game. Especially from a shooting standpoint. I mean, we had a really hard time at different times offensively. Didn't shoot the 3-ball well, and I thought. To that point, I thought we played really hard. And then in the second half, especially on offense, we got connected and were generating really good shots for each other. Some went in, some didn't, but we played really on brand there in the second half.
And then just with J-Dub, obviously well-rounded stat line, but from a facilitating standpoint, did you see anything that jumped out tonight in particular with his 10 assists?
Yeah, he had good control of the game. He great pace again. He's playing a lot of on-ball minutes, and really learning how to manage the game from that standpoint. Still plays he can learn from, too. He's a young player, an experienced player relative to, long careers. And so we just have to keep getting better. He has to keep getting better. All those guys.
Steve?
How gratifying is it to see your 22 draft class, Jay Will, J-Dub, and you just kind of have a fingerprint on tonight's game?
Yeah, and they've had a fingerprint on a lot of, obviously, those guys have had a fingerprint on a lot of games. They're taking advantage of their opportunities. I give them a lot of credit. They're workers, and they show up every day and attack the program, which is all we ask of those guys early in their careers. And they've improved as a result, and they're talented players that have, taken advantage of the opportunities they've gotten. We got 15 games left. They need to continue to do that. We have to continue to do that. Just continue to build and keep improving. But those guys are a great example of that.
It seemed like there were just a lot of punches that they threw throughout the game, whether it was the run to end the first half or the run to tie the game in the third quarter. What did it take for you guys to kind of stabilize the game and make sure that you were out on top?
Yeah, they were playing really well offensively. Thought we were kind of shooting a little quick, not making them work defensively, and then they were coming down and getting good shots. So, just trying to stick back to our roots. I thought we did a really good job rebounding and kind of holding them to one shot throughout that little stretch, especially to start the fourth. Kind of went back and forth, and then we kind of cut the water off. I thought we did a good job there, and they ultimately won the game.
There were a lot of balanced contributions tonight. Everybody scored. Everybody knocked down a 3. It wasn't you all's best offensive performance overall, but what did those contributions do for you guys throughout the game?
I think they stabilized the game. I think when everybody's scoring, it makes it harder for us to guard. Regardless of how we shot, I think we were able to move the ball really well, especially in key moments of the game. I think we had a really good possession, and Jay Will hit a top of the key 3. That was kind of a big kind of momentum shift for us. So everybody kind of contributed. Everybody kind of just stuck with it. It was hard. Obviously, it's hard to play on a back-to-back, and we understood that. But defensively, I thought we kind of were able to kind of close the game out that way.
You mentioned just the playmaking, and, top 5 3-point shooter in the NBA this season is the one hitting you on a pass from the baseline for that corner three. You just described that moment and then the impact of having all 5 guys on the floor being able to finish and make plays.
Yeah. Like I said, Jay Will just hit that one off good ball movement, kind of the same exact thing. I ended up being open with Zay. When you have a bunch of guys that are playing unselfish and can make plays, it makes the game really easy. I don't think I've had a 3 that open in a while, but it's just kind of what the defense was giving up, and I hit it. And I think just even before that, I think like our 4 possessions before that were really good too.
It's pick and roll defense is such a challenge for big men. What have you seen from Jay Will and just his growth in that department? He seemed to be extremely disruptive in the drop tonight.
I think he's starting to, kind of figure out being really physical without fouling. Obviously, being a charge threat the way he is really kind of makes everybody second guess what they're doing. And yeah, he's just a really smart defender as well, so he'll only be able to improve from there. And he's been really good for us. He's kind of been able to understand our different coverages no matter what we've been doing. And I kind of been saying it all year, just playing hard really kind of takes up for any mistakes you have, and he's been doing really good at that.
What kind of impact did Ousmane have in the game tonight? I think career high in points and rebounds.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing really well, especially the last three games that he's been in. I think he's getting more and more comfortable. Obviously him being in the G a lot of the year, he's kind of been able to figure things out, and then he's getting more minutes now, and he's been exceptional throughout this whole entire thing. And you could tell that he's learning, kind of growing, figuring out where he's going to be, and kind of filling the lanes. He's been really good for us defensively as well, but he's been figuring it out, and it's really fun to watch and play with.
How fun is it now to go out there? Like you won 5 out of 6 now. What's it like in the locker room, and what's the mood of the team?
Just like a job, it's not finished mentality. Obviously, we're trying to win every single game that we can. It's good to kind of win when Shea doesn't play as well. Just kind of lets us know that we're doing the right things and playing hard in that way. And just kind of one game at a time, one day at a time. I think we're doing a good job kind of staying together. I think that's been our biggest thing through the ups and downs. I think we had like a 5-game losing streak as well. So to kind of be able to steal 5 out of the 6 has been really good for us.
Start to this game and the close to this game seems similar just in terms of defensively how you all were able to do that. What did you feel out there?
That was back to back, so like we had to be ready from the jump. So yeah, we just were like trying to play good from the jump, like run transition, like get some defensive boards, and yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned the rebounding. They only had 1 offensive rebound in that first quarter. How much of that was the mindset tonight to box out and finish possessions?
That was part of the game plan, like limit their offensive rebound. I thought we did a great job of that. Just be there on the board, boxing out, and everything.
How have some of these plays felt for you? The driving dunks, the finishing hard at the rim, even some of the hard fouls that you're giving defensively just to prevent easy buckets.
I'm just trying to get better every day. That's how I'm gonna get better. So yeah, I'm just trying to do that every time I can.
Because you had like a coast-to-coast layup, they tried to steal the ball from you, you still finished through the contact. Just what's going through your head when you're in the open floor like that, out in transition?
I'm just trying to find teammates open, and if not, just go finish at the rim, and that's it.
Everybody contributed tonight for you guys. Everyone scored. Everyone knocked down a 3. Just what's that like being on the floor when everybody is playing a part?
It felt good. It felt good, like especially when we share the ball and like we see everything like it's going in. So that felt really good.
How do you think you played tonight, and what did you like about your performance?
I think I play hard. I'm trying to get better every day, like I said. So I think that was good, like in terms of toughness, and can probably do something better, like on defense, like get my hands out of player, like that's it.